We want to begin with hundreds of cyclists coming together to remember one of their own killed by a man police say was drunk. Thanks so much for joining us for Fox 5 News at 6. I'm Eric Perry. This morning, they biked along the same route where he died. Fox 5's Kim Luffler talked with his family and about the outpouring of support.
Carlos Moreno's children say they didn't realize the impact their dad had on the cycling community until they saw the amount of people who came out to remember him.
This road is familiar for many of these cyclists, but Saturday they're riding with heavy hearts as they remember one of their own, 51-year-old Carlos Moreno, who lost his life here nearly a week ago.
He was truly, in every sense, an angel on this earth, and we are so lucky to have him as our father.
The Cherokee County Sheriff's Office says Carlos was hit and killed while riding his bike along Sugar Pike Road Sunday afternoon. Deputies say the driver, identified as Lane Keys, lost control of his car and hit Carlos, who was traveling the opposite way. Deputies say impairment and speed led to the crash. Keys now faces multiple charges, including vehicular homicide and DUI.
It's almost hard to believe that this tragedy has happened. Everyone enjoyed riding with him because he was such a warm and gentle man.
Many of the people who joined the memorial ride Saturday knew Carlos, who was part of several cycling groups in the area. Others never met him, but still considered him part of their cycling family.
When we lose a family member, it's just like losing a blood family member. It's very, very personal to us.
Carlos was a single father of 4. His kids say they'll never forget their father's love or the impact he had on the community.
My dad was really humble and he was really quiet. He would tell us about all these bike rides and all these friends that he had, but I didn't know there was this many people.
He loved us so much, and we knew how much he loved us.
There's a GoFundMe set up to support the family, and we have that link posted for you on our website, fox5atlanta.com. In Cherokee County, Kim Luffler, Fox 5 News.
All right, Kim, thanks so much. A boy is recovering after being shot in the foot while breaking into a car. Atlanta police say they responded to a call around 2 Friday morning. That's where they found that boy with a gunshot wound, and he admitted to attempting to break into a vehicle. He was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. The vehicle's owner, 51-year-old Yoshe Carter, was arrested and charged with aggravated assault. A local mother is talking for the first time just days after her 19-year-old daughter was hit and killed. This happened while she was crossing the street in Brookhaven. It happened Tuesday on Claremont Road on Dresden Drive. The victim, Marjorie Lopez, was walking with her boyfriend when police say a dump truck driver, 51-year-old Omar Ali, hit them and then kept going. Her mother, Hortensia Lopez, is pleading for the maximum penalty, says she simply cannot accept that her daughter is gone.
Le dé la pena máxima. Esa persona no tiene derecho de salir, andar en la calle libremente.
She wants max penalty, that he isn't allowed to be free around in the street.
Quiero a mi hija de vuelta.
I want my daughter back.
Well, Lopez says her daughter loved drawing and she wanted to be an artist. We've placed more ways on how you can help the family on our website, fox5atlanta.com. A man accused of threatening to shoot up Hartsville Jackson set to appear in federal court Wednesday for a detention hearing. A judge will decide whether or not Billy Cagle should stay in jail as he awaits trial. We talked with a trial attorney who's not connected with the case but says he expects Cagle's mental state will be discussed. An arrest warrant from Clayton County states Cagle's wife told investigators he was diagnosed with schizophrenia and was off his medication.
I don't feel that the federal government has a strong case to keep him incarcerated for the entirety of his prosecution. As I understand, with the mental health defense that appears to be at the heart of Mr. Cagle's overall defense, that will allow the defense to argue a release to either a facility or other solution that doesn't consume limited law enforcement resources down at the federal jail.
Cagle faces multiple federal charges. That includes attempted violence at an international airport. We reached out to Clayton County to confirm the status of his state charges. We're still waiting to hear back. Halston community members celebrated the 102nd birthday of a veteran who not only served in 3 different branches of the military, but also spent decades working for the Atlanta Police Department. Annie Mapp joins us at the live desk. And Annie, this was an extra special day for him.
Eric, it was. We're talking about Mr. David Prince, who was born in Atlanta in 1923 and spent most of his life working in public service. He credits living past 100 to his faith and keeping a joyful heart. Now at 102, Prince says he has no regrets of how he lived his life. He tells Fox 5 if he could start over, he would still dedicate his time to his country, community, and Jesus. The military veteran answered his call to serve at the age of 18, joining the U.S. Army to fight in World War II. He'd later serve in the U.S. Navy Reserves as a medical corpsman and police officer for a few years before enlisting in the Air National Guard. He served in the Guard until 1968, and after his military career, he worked for the Atlanta Police Department and the U.S. Postal Service. The assisted living center where he resides honored his special day with a military-style celebration.
And it's been a great day for me and for all my family and all our friends.
During his birthday party, the veteran was also honored with a Quilt of Valor, which is awarded to service members who have been touched by war. At the live desk, Annie Mapp, Fox 5 News.
Annie, thanks so much. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver is speaking out for the first time since the federal indictments of Portland coach Chauncey Billups, Miami guard Terry Rozier, and former player Damon Jones in a wide-ranging gambling scheme. Silver said during an interview on Amazon Prime Video's broadcast of the Knicks-Celtics game that he was, quote, deeply disturbed by the allegations, adding that there's nothing more important to the league and its fans than the integrity of the competition.
My initial reaction was I was deeply disturbed. There's nothing more important to the league and its fans than the integrity of the competition. And so I had a pit in my stomach. It was very upsetting.
Yesterday, Congress got involved as the House Committee on Commerce sent a letter to Silver requesting a briefing and information related to the scandal. And we are learning 2 men from Georgia were charged in that gambling case. Prosecutors say Tony Goodson, known as Black Tony, helped supply the altered shuffling machines that could read every card and transmit that data. The second man, John Mazzola, known as John South, allegedly played in the rigged games. Prosecutors say he also took part in an armed robbery to steal one of the devices.